I'm a guy that's 24. Each day I build some more. I like the sequels. I'm Rich Boy J. Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here back with another video, and this is going to be episode 21 of the Starkiller base mock build series. So, sorry that I missed last week, but I think I'm going to more than make up for it with this week. We had some pretty monumental developments in this build, and I'm so excited to get to show it to you guys. But before we get to that, I do want to give a very special thanks to those of you who donated on the live streams. Like I always say, guys, if you're not tuning into the live streams, you are missing out. It is a great opportunity for you to not only see the mock early, but to also just hang around with some boyos and talk Star Wars. What more could you want than that? But I do want to give a very special thanks to Falco, BFAB, Kenneth Robinette, it's a name we haven't heard here in a while, Jedi Bob, Rebel Bricks, and Mal, aka Kult of Kristiansen. Thank you guys so much for contributing. I really appreciate it, and those contributions definitely go a long way. But in terms of the build this week, I got half a mock's worth of rock work done, which is super exciting because rock work takes forever, and the fact that half of it, or at least for this side of the mock, is done makes me very happy. And it's actually behind me right now. You can't see it, but you definitely are going to see it pretty soon. But that's enough talking. Let's actually go right into the time lapse. I do want to say it's only a partial time lapse. I wasn't able to film me completing the rock work, but the time lapse definitely shows a substantial amount of the rock work being done. Alright, this is Starkiller, guys. So you can see a ton of work has been done on this side of the mock. And I guess we can start with the rock work. It's a pretty substantial part of this build. This took such a long time, as you can imagine. All these slopes built up here. It's a pretty big part of the mock, and I'm really happy the way it turned out. There's a very diverse array of slopes in here. You can see we have the standard, like, 1x2x3s. We got some 1x2x1s, some cheese slopes in there. There's even a few 1x3s kind of sprinkled throughout. And also threw in some dark gray to represent the areas that aren't necessarily covered by the snow, just some, exposed rock areas of the mock, and I think it just looks so good. I especially like how the color, the white, contrasts so well with the rest of the build that's mostly that dark gray. Unfortunately, the wall behind it's white, so if you're kind of standing back, at least on camera, it's kind of lost in the wall, but in person, it is very obvious that it's there, and it makes a huge difference. So here's some side views. You can really just appreciate a lot of the just the detail that was put into this to make all of this work. I can also give you guys a look at the back side of this. You can see it's very colorful. The back of the mock in general is just very colorful. The thing that I've kind of had to keep in consideration is the fact that this is all going to be covered by, the half of the mock that sits behind this. And I'm basically kind of forced now to ensure that that half of the mock ends up being as tall as this, so you don't see like the top of like the rainbow bricks in there kind of poking out once we have, the sections over here built up. It's not a huge deal. It just means I'm gonna have to make sure the base itself is pretty big. And I think like for the hangar area, that is preferable. It should be a very tall area. And on this side, the hangar is going to be on the other side, but on this side, I'm just going to have to make sure that there are a lot of levels to the base, which is not a bad thing at all. That's actually a great thing. Gives me more space to work with, and more rooms to build. And I know you guys love the base elements of MOCs, love the interiors, so that's going to be quite a process in itself. But it's just really cool to finally see this rock work over here built up, and it's really just looking like Starkiller. That's the best thing I can say about this. Also went ahead and tiled up the top of the, I guess the balcony terrace. What would you describe this as? I don't know, this thing that sticks out. Got the top of that tiled up. You notice there are a few colors that are poking through, like some reds there, some greens there. I ran all out of 1x1 dark gray tiles, so I'm wanting to place a pretty big order of those because that's just such a necessary piece, especially when I'm dealing with so many things that need to be tiled in dark gray, just kind of making sure that I can cover up those, tiny gaps that are left once all the big tiles are used. So probably in the next update, you'll see this will actually look complete instead of all the gaps that were left. But in the meantime, I actually am quite happy with it. I also like a lot of the snow details that I have on here. You can see on the roof, there's just, piles of snow. I tried to kind of put these in the corners here to kind of simulate the idea that the snow would kind of gather in the crevices. That's why that looks like that. And then even here, you can see there's this group of snow that has, or pile of snow rather, that is kind of gathered towards the edge of the roof, and that's accurate. The snow would kind of settle, on the edges of things in cracks and crevices. So I'm trying to stay consistent with that in this MOC. One useful piece has been this mixel tooth right here. It just makes for an awesome looking kind of snow, icicle almost hanging off the edge of things. So you can see I've used that part pretty extensively throughout the entire MOC on the edges of roofs and places like that, just to kind of show yeah, there's a lot of snow on this planet, and just trying to make it look as accurate as possible. So one thing I really was super excited to do, and I think it came out well, was this section here. There's just a lot of snow that is kind of gathered on this slope here, and I don't know, I don't really know much to say about it other than I just like the way it looks. I think those piles of snow just look really nice with all the the slopes mixed in with the plates. I think it's just a nice looking technique, and it just comes together to make the side of the MOC look just so detailed and so accurate. And then I really wanted to make a point to just finish off, the tiling here for the most part, and the snow up there, so you can just get a really complete view of what this side of the MOC is going to look like. You can see this half of the MOC, or this side of the half of the MOC is mostly complete. Still got a bit of tile work to do at the bottom there, but you see we have basically all the big set pieces. There's the big turbo laser there, got the rock work, got the snow that is kind of gathered along the side of the building, and just gonna have to do all that again on the other side of the MOC. It's kind of crazy to think about considering how long all this took, but once it's complete on the other side, I'm really just so excited to finally see it from a pulled back view and just get a completed view of the MOC. In the meantime, I'm just staring at it from this angle because it looks mostly complete on this side, but man, I'm just so excited about this MOC right now. You guys have no idea. This side has really come together very well. As an update on the turret situation, because you can see there's still just these black, long Technic axles sticking out, still no cannons. So I got 2 of 4 orders in. One of them I'm still waiting on because, and I don't know why I made this mistake, but when I did Easy Buy on Bricklink, one of the shippers that I bought from is titled The Slow Shipper. That's their store name, The Slow Shipper. If you go on there and look at the options they have for shipping, the only option is literally they just call it slow USPS shipping. So it took them basically 10 days to even ship it. I think the order finally shipped yesterday. And mind you, I placed these orders 2 weeks ago. So you can see it took a while for them to get here. The third order has been en route for a bit. I should have that probably Monday, but still waiting to get orders in to finish up the cannons here and actually just do the other turret. Once those orders are in, I'll have all the parts to just make the turret, which is exciting. I would just like to get those orders in actually, so we can really understand what Starkiller is going to be looking like down the line. But until then, what I think I'm going to do, because still obviously got a lot of work to do, is probably going to start the rock work on the other side because it needs to be done anyways. But I know I'm probably going to need to buy more of the 1x2 slopes like these right here. That slope right there, the one that's turned to the side. I have a decent amount now, but I know I'm going to need more for the other side, so probably won't be able to finish the rock work until that order comes in. And of course, it's still got these rooms to complete, so that's something that I definitely need to work on. And really just tiling off the sections kind of around the turbo lasers. Like, I left those sections empty really just so I have options when laying down the turbo lasers. I wasn't exactly sure where I was going to place them before, I actually had it built. Now that I know what it's going to look like on this side, I can just tile around it, and then of course tile around what it's going to be on the other side, because I know exactly where it's going to be placed. But really, guys, that's it in terms of progress on this MOC. You can see, like, from this angle, this just looks incredible. Like, that rock work, in my opinion, makes such a big difference just for the backdrop of the MOC, and I just can't wait to finally have it on the other side. The other side is so bare by comparison. Like, we got the turbo laser, the rock work, the nice tiling details, and basically nothing on the other side. But that's kind of how these things go. I wanted to, rather than kind of build them both up at the same time, get one side done so I know I was happy with the way it looked, and then I can, just do the other side and know kind of what I've gotten myself into, So that's kind of why I approached it that way. And also, it's just so much easier to, like, work on one side of the MOC. Like, once you start building this big, like, it's kind of a pain to keep walking around each side of the table, working on it section by section. It was very convenient for me to just walk to this side of the MOC and just keep building up, and away. So, yeah, that's the MOC right now, guys. Here's, I guess, a pulled back view for you to settle on. And you can see this thing is just really, really coming together. So let's go ahead and go to the closing statements of the video. And that's going to finish the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed checking out the MOC. I think it is just looking incredible. The rock work does so much to it. If not anything, then just adding a bit more color to it. Like, it's nice to have the backdrop, at least on this side of the MOC, of those white snow-capped mountains, or really snow-covered mountains. It just looks so nice, and I can't wait to get it started on that side. Gonna have to place a few orders to get some more slopes in that I'll need. But other than that, we should be good to go to move forward. And I can't guarantee that the rock work on that side will be done by the next update, because I should hopefully have the parts in, fingers crossed, for the next turret, and that's going to take a bit of time on the week. But I think ideally I'll have all the rock work done on that side, as well as a turret build, and we'll have basically just a almost perfect view of what this MOC is going to look like on this side. Like, it'll mostly be done, other than those two rooms that I have to do on either side of the MOC. But it's looking great so far, guys. I can't wait to move forward with the build. So thanks to all of you for tuning in and continuing to support this build. I really appreciate it. And if you like what I do, go ahead and support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.